You have probably held one. Slid it across a hotel counter in another country, pressed it face down on a glass scanner, handed it to a uniformed officer without making eye contact. You have carried it in your back pocket, your coat lining, the inside zipper of a bag you keep next to your body because you were told never to let it out of your reach. And in all of that, in every line, every trip, every anxious wait at a border, did you ever actually read it? Not the name page, not the visa stamps. I mean the pages inside, the ones with the images, the ones with the text printed so small in such formal language, layered over such elaborate patriotic imagery that most people assume it is decorative. Background noise, government wallpaper. Because here is what almost no one knows. The United States has been printing some of the most radical, most contested, most quietly extraordinary words in the history of Western democracy inside the booklet you stuff into your carry-on bag. For decades, on every trip, through every border, carried by 340 million people who mostly never stopped to read a single line. And now, in the summer of 2026, the State Department just made a change to that booklet that has the entire country arguing. But the argument almost everyone is having, it is missing the deeper story entirely. What was already in there, long before this moment, is the thing that should genuinely stop you cold. Here is the announcement. In April 2026, the U.S. State Department confirmed that it would release a limited edition passport, branded the America 250 edition, to mark the 250th anniversary of American independence. 25,000 of them, available only at the Washington Passport Agency on a first-come, first-served basis at no extra charge. The design features President Donald Trump's official inauguration portrait, placed directly over the text of the Declaration of Independence. His gold signature sits beneath it. An American flag wraps the composition. The State Department calls it a patriotic design. The White House calls it a celebration. Social media calls it a lot of other things. And the debate that erupted was entirely predictable. Some people said it was historic. Some people said it was inappropriate. Historians noted that no sitting U.S. president has ever appeared on an official travel document before. Former passport officials said the design broke a precedent so old that most people inside the State Department didn't even know there was a rule until it was gone. Everyone had an opinion. Almost no one asked the more interesting question. Which is, if you are going to put a president's portrait over the Declaration of Independence inside a U.S. passport, what did the Declaration of Independence look like inside that passport before he got there? What has actually been printed in that document, in your document, all this time? What has the United States government been quietly handing to every traveling American for the past several decades, sewn into the lining of the most powerful travel document on Earth? Because the answer is not what you think, and it has been there the whole time. Modern U.S. passports, the ones issued since 2007, are not blank booklets with visa pages. Every single interior page carries imagery, landmarks, landscapes, eagles, flags, and text, carefully selected, deliberately placed excerpts from the foundational documents and speeches of the American Republic, the preamble to the Constitution, excerpts from the Declaration of Independence, lines from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address, passages from speeches by presidents who have been dead for a century. All of it printed in fine ink, layered beneath the imagery, present in every passport that has crossed every border since you were probably a child. Most people have never read a single word of it. They see the imagery. They don't see the text underneath. The document was designed to be carried, not read. And so the words traveled silently, invisibly, in pockets and bags and safety deposits all over the world. Now here is the specific sentence that matters. The Declaration of Independence, the document now used as the backdrop for Trump's portrait in the America 250 passport, contains this line. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That sentence has been physically present in U.S. passports for years, traveling to countries that don't believe it, passing through the hands of governments that have actively suppressed it, being inspected by border agents in nations where those exact rights do not exist. It has been doing quiet, invisible diplomatic work every single time an American handed their passport across a counter, and almost no one knew. The reason this matters in 2026 is not only about the portrait. It is about what the portrait displaced and what it kept. The America 250 passport did not remove the Declaration's text. Trump's portrait is layered over the imagery, not over the full document. The words are still there, technically. But the visual hierarchy shifted. What the eye lands on first is no longer the founding document. It is the founding document as background, as context, as wallpaper behind a more current face. And that is the design decision worth examining, not because it is unprecedented for a government to put a leader's face on its documents, but because it is unprecedented for America specifically. The founding logic of this country was built on an explicit rejection of the idea that any single leader's image should anchor national identity. The founders were so committed to this principle that they argued over putting Washington's face on coins. They worried, out loud in writing, that making any living leader's likeness into a civic symbol was the first quiet step toward something they had just fought a war to escape. And so the passport, for 250 years, held the words and the monuments and the landscapes, not the faces. The face was always yours, yours on the photo page, yours as the named bearer, yours as the citizen carrying a country's promise across a foreign threshold. The passport said, "You represent this," not "he does." What 25,000 America 250 passports quietly introduce, even if only in a limited run, even if well-intentioned as a birthday celebration, is a different visual grammar, one where a leader and a nation's founding document share the same frame, where the face and the text occupy the same page, where the design asks, without saying a word out loud, whether those two things belong together. That question, encoded in ink and gold on 32 pages of a small blue booklet, is the most American argument of 2026. Go back to that moment, the one at the beginning, you holding a small blue booklet in a foreign country, tired, a little anxious, waiting for a stamp. What you were holding, what you have always been holding, is one of the stranger objects in the modern world, a document that is simultaneously bureaucratic and philosophical, a thing that says, this person is real and verified on one level, and this is what we believe on another. And for 2.5 centuries, the thing America chose to embed in that document, quietly, on every page for every traveler was not a face. It was a set of ideas. That choice was not accidental. It was an argument, restated every time a new passport was printed. An argument that said the country is bigger than any single person in it, that the words matter more than the image, that the founding promise travels with the citizen, not the other way around. The words are still there. In the America 250 passport, in every other passport, printed small, layered underneath, easy to miss, traveling through borders that may not honor them in the pockets of people who may not have read them in years. The hidden thing was never really hidden. It was just waiting for someone to look. 250 years of American passports, and the most powerful thing ever printed inside one was never the portrait, never the eagle, never the stamp. It was a sentence that begins with the word we. If this kind of story is the kind you want more of, subscribe. There is more coming.